Imagine navigating life not as a passive spectator, but as a perceptive conductor, aware of the subtle rhythms and hidden currents that shape outcomes. This isn't about embracing villainy, but about cultivating a clear-eyed understanding of how power, influence, and human nature truly operate. The essence distilled from Niccolò Machiavelli's often misinterpreted observations. He studied the world without the filter of idealism, focusing on what works in the messy reality of human ambition, fear, and self-interest. Forget sinister plots. Think practical wisdom. It's about seeing the strings, the levers of perception, the bonds of mutual need, the necessity of flexibility, the inevitability of tough choices, and the power of foresight, and learning how they function in everyday situations. Let's translate this into tangible actions you can recognize and apply. First, grasp the immense power of perception. Reality is complex and often slow to reveal itself. Perception is immediate and dictates reactions. People act based on what they believe to be true. Picture Sarah, a project manager whose key software update crashes right before a major client demo. The reality is a technical disaster. Panic is natural. But channeling Machiavelli, Sarah doesn't just frantically whisper to her tech team. She addresses the client calmly. "Thank you for your patience." This unexpected hiccup actually gives us a perfect opportunity to showcase our real-time problem-solving protocols and the robust backup systems we've built. While the team implements the immediate fix, I can walk you through exactly how our contingency plans ensure minimal disruption for you. The crash hasn't vanished, but the perception shifts dramatically, from failure to a demonstration of resilience and proactive planning. The client, instead of losing confidence, might be impressed by the transparency and preparedness. This isn't lying. It's strategically framing the unavoidable setback to highlight competence and control. Controlling the narrative is a fundamental string. Think of a small business owner facing a price increase on essential materials. Announcing a simple price hike risks customer backlash. Instead, they frame it. To maintain the exceptional quality you expect and invest in more sustainable sourcing, we're implementing a modest adjustment. This links the increase to shared values, quality, sustainability, shaping perception towards necessity and shared benefit rather than just corporate greed. People react to the story you tell, often more powerfully than to the raw facts. Second, recognize that relationships thrive on mutual benefit and necessity, not just affection or loyalty. Goodwill is pleasant, but it's fragile sand to build upon. True security comes from being genuinely indispensable. Consider Ben, a mid-level engineer in a tech firm. He's skilled, but he knows technical prowess alone isn't enough. He actively cultivates his network. He volunteers for cross-functional committees, not just for visibility, but to understand other departments' challenges. He shares useful debugging shortcuts with the QA team, saving them hours. He translates complex technical jargon into clear business impacts for his non-technical manager. He makes sure his solutions visibly benefit his boss's key objectives. Ben understands his value to others is his strongest armor and engine for advancement. His manager champions him because Ben's success directly contributes to the manager's own targets being met and reputation being enhanced. Colleagues support him because he consistently makes their work easier or more successful. This isn't manipulation. It's creating tangible reciprocal value. Machiavelli stressed that reliance on promises or fleeting goodwill is perilous. Bonds anchored in clear mutual self-interest are far more resilient. The support Ben receives isn't charity. It's because supporting Ben demonstrably benefits those who support him. It's like two neighboring businesses. One runs a bakery, the other a coffee shop. Their friendship is nice, but what truly binds them is the concrete benefit. The coffee shop draws morning crowds who buy pastries, and the bakery's smell entices people in for coffee. Their alliance is pragmatic, built on shared customers and mutual profit, making it far more stable than vague neighborly affection. Third, embrace adaptability as your core strength. Clinging rigidly to a failing plan guarantees failure. Principles guide, but dogmatism drowns you. Be prepared to shift tactics, to embody the lion, forceful, direct, or the fox, cunning, indirect, as the situation demands. Imagine a community group fighting a planned high-rise that will block sunlight and overwhelm local infrastructure. Initially, they appeal to the developer's sense of community, presenting heartfelt petitions about lost gardens and neighborhood character. The developer nods politely, but continues filing permits. Goodwill proves useless. Time for a Machiavellian pivot. They stop appealing to conscience and become foxes. They meticulously research zoning laws, historical preservation statutes, and environmental impact regulations. They uncover potential violations, inadequate traffic studies, questionable land surveys, ignoring protected sightlines. They identify the real decision makers, specific members of the city planning commission, and influential local councilors. They gather irrefutable evidence, documented complaints from residents, and expert opinions. Then, they become lions. They pack a crucial planning commission meeting, presenting a powerful evidence-based case demanding scrutiny and enforcement. They alert local media, framing it as residents fight developer overreach, demand lawful process. The goal, stopping the destructive development, remains constant. But the methods transformed entirely when appeals to the developer's better nature failed. They adapted to the actual power structure, laws, political pressure, public opinion, and wielded its levers effectively. Stubbornly continuing with polite petitions would have been futile. Adaptability means knowing when a friendly request will suffice and when you need the leverage of regulations or public exposure. It's a salesperson realizing a direct pitch isn't working and shifting to asking insightful questions that help the client uncover their own need for the product. Fourth, confront the reality of necessity. Protecting a greater good or achieving a vital objective sometimes forces difficult, even painful, choices. Avoiding these choices out of discomfort often leads to far greater collective harm. Picture Elena, the head of a small nonprofit facing severe budget cuts. She has two excellent program managers, both crucial, but she can only retain one. David is incredibly creative and beloved by the team, but his projects, while innovative, are harder to fund consistently. Maria is less charismatic, but exceptionally organized. Her programs deliver measurable, grant-friendly outcomes reliably and secure crucial funding. Elena values David's spirit, but recognizes the nonprofit's survival is paramount. Machiavelli would argue preserving the organization, the state, is the ultimate necessity. The harsh reality demands a hard decision. Elena, with deep regret, restructures to retain Maria, whose work provides the stable financial foundation necessary for any future programs, including potentially David's style of work later. It feels cruel to David and unpopular with some staff, but the alternative, keeping David and risking the entire nonprofit collapsing due to unstable funding, ending all programs and jobs, is catastrophic. She acts decisively to ensure survival. Machiavelli's controversial point about fear versus love emphasizes reliability. If genuine loyalty and affection, love, aren't enough to ensure the cooperation and stability needed, then ensuring people understand the clear consequences of failure or disloyalty, fear of losing the organization in this case, becomes necessary. Elena's painful choice, though creating resentment, establishes the harsh necessity of prioritizing organizational survival above individual preferences. Choosing the lesser evil, letting David go versus risking total collapse, is the grim pragmatism dictated by circumstance and the duty to the whole. Fifth, cultivate relentless anticipation. Don't wait for the storm to swamp your boat. Repair the sails in calm weather. Foreseeing challenges from afar, as Machiavelli urged, provides crucial time and strategic options. Think of Priya starting a new role in a competitive sales department. A naive approach is to focus solely on hitting her sales targets. A Machiavellian-minded Priya does much more. She actively maps the terrain. Who are the top performers, and what's their secret? Who has the sales director's ear informally? What are the unspoken rules about client ownership or lead distribution? Which products are likely to be phased out? Where did the last big internal conflict arise? She builds rapport early, having genuine conversations with support staff, marketing, and seasoned colleagues, learning their pain points and goals. She listens for whispers, tensions between regions, upcoming shifts in commission structures, a key client considering competitors. She identifies potential pitfalls, a complex new CRM system rollout, a major industry conference where preparation is key, a high-maintenance client known for last-minute demands. This isn't scheming. It's strategic reconnaissance and preparation. By understanding the power dynamics, potential friction points, and looming challenges early, Priya can navigate skillfully. She sees the CRM change causing disruptions and proactively takes an online certification course before it's mandatory, positioning herself as a resource. She anticipates the high-maintenance client's needs before they escalate. She learns the preferences of the sales director's influential assistant. Anticipation transforms potential crises into manageable situations. A farmer doesn't wait for drought to dig a well. They prepare during the rainy season. Anticipation is the practical application of understanding that change is constant and challenges are predictable if you observe keenly. Preparation is proactive power. Mastering these interconnected strings, perception, relationships anchored in benefit, adaptability, acting on necessity, and anticipation, prana, is not a descent into darkness, but an ascent out of naivety. It's seeing the social and professional world with unflinching clarity, recognizing the potent mix of self-interest, ambition, fear, cooperation, and reason that drives people. It's acknowledging that appearances, however superficial, create immediate realities that must be managed. It's valuing connections based on tangible reciprocity and shared advantage, knowing these bonds withstand pressure better than those based solely on sentiment. It's possessing the flexibility to abandon a failing course without ego, seamlessly shifting from persuasion to pressure, from collaboration to competition as conditions demand. It's summoning the courage to make the agonizing yet essential choice when the well-being of the larger endeavor hangs in the balance. And it's maintaining constant vigilance, scanning the horizon not with anxiety, but with the calm readiness of one who prepares, turning foresight into a strategic advantage. This pragmatic philosophy, grounded solely in observing human nature and power dynamics as they are, not as we wish them to be, offers not a moral compass, but a sophisticated navigational chart. It allows you to interpret complex situations more accurately, predict reactions more reliably, make decisions based on probable outcomes rather than optimistic hopes, safeguard your interests and those you are responsible for, and ultimately, exert greater influence over your trajectory within the intricate currents of life. You learn to identify the strings, understanding they exist not for domination, but as inherent parts of the human interaction, and gain the discernment to know when, how, and if to gently influence their tension. It moves you from being buffeted by circumstance to engaging with the world deliberately, making you an active participant consciously shaping your path within the vast, complex, and endlessly fascinating web of human endeavor. You master the strings not to control the entire puppet show, but to ensure your own part is played with awareness, agency, and a realistic understanding of the stage upon which we all perform. It's the difference between drifting and steering, between hoping and strategically acting, empowering you to navigate towards your chosen destination with eyes wide open to the realities of the journey. Seek wisdom.